Let's be real. You work hard for your money. But is your money working hard for you? For so many of us, that cash is just sitting there. Today, we're going to explore exactly how to put that money to work. You know, this quote, it's from a recent Reddit post, and man, does it hit home for a lot of us. You're doing well, making good money, you've even got a nice chunk of cash saved up, but then what? You feel kind of stuck, maybe even a little financially illiterate, like they said. It's a super common feeling, trust me. But the good news, the way forward is way less complicated than you probably think. Right, so where do you even begin? It can feel like you're staring at a giant mountain. But honestly, getting started just takes a solid foundation and a clear plan. And that's exactly what we're going to build, together, right now. All right, first things first. Before we even dream about making our money grow, we've got to know where it's actually going. This whole first step is about gaining control, getting that bird's eye view. Look, I get it. It's so tempting to want to jump straight into the sexy stuff, right? Like picking stocks. But the real power, the actual first step, is a budget. And listen, a budget isn't about telling yourself no. It's not a punishment. It's about information. It gives you the power to see exactly what's happening so you can start telling your money where to go instead of wondering where it went. And to keep things super simple, we can use a really popular framework called the 50-30-20 rule. It's just a dead simple way to slice up your after-tax income into 3 buckets. Easy to remember, easy to use. Okay, let's break it down. That first 50%, that's for your needs. We're talking to must-haves, your rent or mortgage, utilities, groceries, getting to work. The next 30% is for your wants. This is the fun stuff, right? Going out to eat, hobbies, that stuff that makes life enjoyable. And that last 20%? This is the magic number. This is for your financial goals, building savings, investing, and knocking out debt. Now, inside that 20% bucket, your absolute number one priority is building an emergency fund. Think of it as your financial shock absorber. This isn't vacation money, it's oh crap, the car broke down money. The goal is to get 3 to 6 months of your essential living expenses saved up. Having that cushion means a surprise bill is just an inconvenience, not a catastrophe that throws your whole life off track. Okay, so once you've got a handle on your budget and you're making progress on that emergency fund, the next big step is making sure that money isn't just sitting there doing nothing. I'm going to say it. A checking account is a terrible home for your savings. Just awful. So if a checking account is the wrong address, where should your savings live? Well, you're looking for that sweet spot, right? A place that's safe, but also gives you a little bit of growth. And for that, the 2 best options are usually certificates of deposit, you'll hear them called CDs, and high-yield savings accounts, or HYSAs. And here's how you choose between them. A CD is kind of like putting your money in a time capsule. You lock in a fixed interest rate, but you promise not to touch the money for a certain amount of time. If you do, there's a penalty. An HYSA, on the other hand, lets you access your money whenever. The interest rate might change over time, but the flexibility is key. So what does this mean for you? Well, CDs are fantastic for a specific goal, like a down payment you know you'll need in 2 years. But for that emergency fund, the HYSA is the undisputed champ. You need that cash to be accessible. And just look at why this matters so much. Your typical old school savings account, you're lucky to get, 0.5%, maybe? Now look at a high yield savings account or a CD. We're talking rates that are literally 10 times higher or even more. By leaving your savings in the wrong account, you are leaving free money on the table. It's that simple. So how is this possible? How does your money grow so much faster in these accounts? It's not magic, it's just math. And it's all thanks to a concept that's so powerful, Albert Einstein supposedly called it the 8th wonder of the world.
We're talking about compound interest. Basically, it's interest on your interest. It's your money making babies, and then those babies making more babies. It creates this incredible snowball effect that just gets bigger and faster over time. This is the engine that drives serious wealth building.
Let me show you how that snowball gets rolling. Let's say you start with 10 grand. After year 1, cool, you've earned around $408 in interest. But here's where the magic happens. In year 2, you're not just earning interest on your original $10,000. No, you're earning interest on $10,000 and $408. It seems like a tiny difference at first, I know, but you stretch that out over decades, and the effect is just mind-blowing. All right, once you have that solid savings foundation, that emergency fund is looking healthy, now we can start to look further down the road. It's time to shift gears from just saving to actually building long-term wealth. It's time to talk about investing.
And it is absolutely crucial to understand the difference here. Saving is about safety. It's for short-term goals, protecting your money. Investing is about growth. It's for long-term goals like retirement. And to get that growth, you have to be willing to take on some calculated risk in hopes of getting much higher returns.
You know, the entire world of investing really boils down to one fundamental principle. There's no free lunch. Every potential gain comes with a trade-off. Every single decision is a balancing act. And what are you balancing? It's these three things. You've got risk, the chance you could actually lose your money. You've got return, your potential profit. And you've got liquidity, how easily you can get your hands on your cash. Here's the catch. You can't have it all. You can't maximize all three at the same time. If you want something with super high potential returns, you can bet it's going to come with higher risk. I mean, this is the fundamental law of investing. The lower the risk, the lower the potential return. And the flip side is just as true. The greater the potential return, the greater the risk you're taking on. Really getting your head around this relationship is the absolute key to making smart decisions that actually fit your goals and, let you sleep at night. Okay, we've covered a ton of ground here, right? We went from budgeting to compound interest to the basics of investing. So how do we actually turn all this talk into action? Let's boil it all down into a simple 4-step plan to get you started. Here it is. Step 1, create a budget. Use that 50-30-20 rule just to get a clear picture of your cash flow. Step 2, build your safety net. That means opening a high-yield savings account and starting to fund that 3 to 6 month emergency fund. Step 3, tackle any high-interest debt. We're talking credit card debt, personal loans. Attack that stuff with a vengeance. And finally, step 4, start investing for retirement. If your job is a 401k, sign up. If not, open an IRA. The key is to just start, even with small automated contributions. Seriously, just starting is way more important than how much you start with. Because at the end of the day, the most powerful tool you have in finance isn't some hot stock tip or a complicated algorithm. It's time. The sooner you start, the more time you give that compounding magic to do its thing. It just becomes more and more powerful the longer it has to work. So really, there's only one question left to ask. When are you going to start?